ahead and get started. So, my name is Jazzy, and I'm a health fitness specialist here with Exos. And today we are going to be working out. Yay! So today's workout is going to be a Tabata style workout. We are gonna do 4 different rounds. We're gonna do 4 minutes this time. So last week I know we did 3 rounds of each set, but now we're gonna do 4, so the time will still equal out. But we are gonna do 4 different sets. So we'll do 20 seconds of one exercise, 20 seconds of the second exercise, 20 seconds of the third exercise, and repeat. So we will do that 3 to 4 times each, and we'll do 4 different exercises. So I'll demonstrate them as we go, because if I sit here right now and show all of them, then we're probably gonna forget by the time we get there. So the first thing we are gonna do, you guys, is we're gonna do IYTs. So we're going to be standing. You want your feet to be about shoulder width apart. And we're going to go into an RDL position. So we're gonna push those hips back. You're going to feel a little bit in your hamstrings. And the first thing we're going to do are eyes. So we're going to bring our hands directly overhead and back down. So looking at me this way, bring straight overhead and back down. We want to make sure as we raise our arms up, we are not shrugging our shoulders. We want our shoulders to be as far away from our ears as possible. So just going straight up. So we'll do that for 20 seconds. The next thing we'll do are Ys. So same thing, still bent over like a Y, like YMCA, you know, out like that and back down. So you're squeezing the backs of your shoulders, raising back down. And then the T, same thing, but we're coming out. You're making a T shape. So from the side, it looks like this. From the front, it looks like that, and back down. So we want to make sure we're keeping our pelvis tucked, low back as flat as possible, core engaged, squeezing your shoulders and your back every single time. So that's gonna be the first thing we'll do. And then the second one will be more lower body focus, and then we'll go back to upper body and then lower body at the end. But those are gonna be our first 3 things we're gonna do. So let's go ahead, you guys, and do a quick warm up. So we're gonna start off warming up our entire body. We're gonna do the world's greatest stretch. So we're gonna start standing. We are going to lunge forward. So I'm gonna lunge first with my left leg. Both my hands are gonna come into the inside of that left leg. And on an exhale, we're gonna open up, rotating towards that front leg that we lunged with. So I'm leaning towards the left, opening up, pointing my fingers towards the ceiling, keeping my back leg nice and straight here. And let's go ahead and place the hand on the outside of our left foot now. And we're gonna push up into a hamstring stretch. And then we're gonna hold here, try and get as deep into that hamstring stretch as you can. And then let's go ahead and bring that right foot towards your left foot and stand up. So now we're gonna do the same thing, but with the opposite foot. So now I'm gonna lunge forward with my right foot, placing both my hands on the inside of that right foot. And opening up towards the right side, hand directly towards the ceiling, looking towards your hand. Don't forget to breathe, keep that back leg nice and straight. Let's go ahead and place that hand now on the outside of our right foot. Push back up into the hamstring stretch. Try and get your head as close to your leg as you can. Really feeling that pull in the back of your leg. And let's go ahead and bring that left foot near the right foot and stand back up. Awesome. So then one last thing we're going to do to kind of open everything up, we are going to be on our hands and our knees. And we're going to do some quadruped rocking. So this is going to get our hips warmed up, our pelvis warmed up, and our arms a little bit more. So going from the hands and the knees position, you can have your knees either directly below the hips or slightly wider. And we're going to rock back just like we would going into a squat position. Squeeze the glutes and come back to center. So it's really important that we are keeping our low back nice and flat, keeping the pelvis tucked. We're going to do 5 here, you guys. Taking a second at the bottom, really feeling that stretch out your hips. Still getting ready for those squats that we're going to do on the second round. And last one. Perfect. All right. There we go. Gonna go ahead and grab my phone. We're gonna go ahead and get started, you guys. So I'm gonna start the timer. We are doing 20 seconds of each thing. So doing IYTs, 20 seconds of I, so going straight above the head, 20 seconds of Y, so coming out like a Y, and 20 seconds of T's, but we're all gonna be bent over for them. If it's a little bit hard on your back by standing there for that long of time, we can go ahead and take it to the knees. But same thing, we want to have that back nice and flat. So if you are feeling it in your low back and not your legs, go ahead and take it to your knees. All right, 20 seconds of each, going through 4 times, starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. So making sure we're hinged at the hips, squeezing those shoulders to raise our arms overhead. Try and keep those elbows as straight as you can. We want to make sure our pelvis is tucked here and that we feel this in our glutes and hamstrings. 3, 2, 1, go into Y's. So just going slightly out more. So you might feel these ones more in the backs of your shoulders versus on the middle and front of our shoulders like we did last time. Same thing here, you guys. Want to make sure our pelvis is tucked, so we don't want to have any arch in our back like I have right now. And let's go ahead and switch to T's, you guys. Want to make sure that we have all of our weight distributed evenly across our heel, big toe, and little toe, knees slightly bent, really squeezing those shoulders. 3, 2, 1, back to eyes, so going straight overhead. You start to feel your shoulders shrug up. Really try and pin those shoulder blades down and back. Pretend like you are squeezing an egg. 3, 2, 1, go into Y's. Try to squeeze and crack an egg, squeeze an orange, whatever metaphor you would like. Try and squeeze something in between your shoulder blades here to keep that upper back nice and flat. We want to make sure that we're not coming down too far. We don't want to be rounded. 3, 2, 1, going into T's. Great job, everyone. Again, if you start to feel this in your low back, keep your core a little bit tighter. Really settle in to your legs here. And if you need to, go ahead and go to those knees. 3, 2, 1, and back to eyes. Just make sure we're sinking back into those hips. Squeezing those shoulder blades. Using the shoulders to lift the arms up. 3, 2, 1, go into eyes. Great job, you guys. We're almost there. Keeping those shoulders as far away from our ears. 3, 2, 1, going into T's. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. 3, 2, 1. One more time of each, you guys. Going back to eyes. You need to shake out your back. Feel free to do so, but really making sure we're keeping everything nice and tight here. 3, 2, 1, going into Y's. Feeling this in our shoulders, you guys. 3, 2, 1. T's, last round, you guys, and then I'll explain the next thing while we are resting. Those arms as flat as we can, squeeze in through the backs of our shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and take a rest, you guys. Awesome job here. I know that one can get pretty tiring, especially on the low back. So now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be moving to the lower body here. So the first movement we're gonna do is lateral squats. So we're gonna have a nice wide base with our feet, toes pointed forward or slightly out if you need to. We're gonna have our hands either in front or you can have them straight out, whatever's more comfortable. And we're gonna we're gonna alternate between our legs. So we're gonna lean to one side, squeeze the glutes, come back up, and the other side, squeeze the glutes, come back up. So we're just gonna be alternating between the two. Really wanna make sure we're letting that knee track past the second toe. So from the side, you wanna make sure two hips are gonna be pointed back and down, and then squeeze those glutes and come back up. So we're gonna do lateral squats for 20 seconds. And then for the next 20 seconds, we're gonna do reverse lunge. But this time, I know we normally do knee drives, but this time, wanna challenge ourselves. So we're gonna step back and behind, and we're going to kick that leg up, try and touch your toe. So we'll be doing all on one leg, so the left leg all on one side, kicking as high as you can for 20 seconds, and then we'll switch to the right leg for the last 20 seconds. Try and kick up, touch that toe, and try and keep your balance. I almost fell over there. Any questions about that? Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do 20 seconds of each, starting with lateral squats. Going in 3, 2, 1, 20 seconds. So we wanna make sure we're nice and wide here. Squeeze the glutes on the way up. Keep that butt back and down. Still want the core nice and tight here. 3, 2, 1, reverse lunges. So we're gonna step back, kick as high as you can. If the kicking is too uncomfortable, go ahead and just do the knee drive, but wanna try and touch that toe. Use your core and use that leg to help with momentum. 3, 2, 1, other side. So stepping back, make sure we're squeezing the glutes on the way up. Core nice and tight. Keeping that chest in parallel with our shin. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Back to lateral squats. So we're nice and wide here. Alternating sides. Try and get as low as you can. Let that knee track past the second toe. Core nice and tight. Ooh, squeezing those glutes. 3, 2, 1. Reverse lunge with a kick. Starting with whichever leg you feel is fit. So you try and use that core and the momentum to kick your leg up. 3, 2, 1. Other side. If you need to tap your foot down to get balance, it's perfectly fine. We want to make sure we're not going to fall on our faces here. We're really using our core and momentum here. 3, 2, 1. Lateral squats. Great job, everyone. Doing awesome. By squeezing those glutes here. Keeping that chest nice and tall. 3, 2, 1. Back to lunges. Stepping back. Using the glutes. Keeping all of that weight, you guys, in the front foot. Using the foot like a tripod. Heel, big toe, little toe. Pushing through the ground. Use that core. And go ahead and switch sides. Oops. If you're feeling it in your hip flexor when you kick up, you want to use the core a little bit more. Really pretend like you're squeezing an apple with your abdominal muscles. 3, 2, 1. Lateral squats, you guys. Last round. Keep up the good work, you guys. Really use those glutes. Squeezing on the way up. 3, 2, 1. Back to lunges. Last one on this leg. Like kicking as high as you can. Again, if the knee drive feels better, go ahead and do that. Or you can keep kicking. But make sure whole foot is on the ground. 3, 2, 1, switching sides. Make it all one motion. Use that momentum. Well, almost done here, and then we'll take a quick rest while I explain what is coming up next. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and take a rest, you guys. Shake those legs out a little bit. And we are going to move into the upper body. So we're going to do everyone's favorite. We're going to move into some planks. So first thing we are going to do are going to be pike push-ups. So we're going to be in the pike position. So hips nice and high. And we're going to do overhead presses here, or pike push-ups, whatever you would like to call them. Coming down, you want to almost touch your head directly in between your hands. Keeping back flat, core tight. And after that, we're going to go ahead and lower down into a regular plank. We're going to do plank, knee to elbow. So we're going to be in that plank position, and you can either do the same side elbow, so touching each one, or opposite sides, just like that. And then for the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to do plank with a leg lift. So you can drop it down to your elbows if you're more comfortable here, or staying on your hands. We want to squeeze the glute, lift that leg up. So your legs might go a little bit farther out, and that's okay. Just try and use your glutes to get your legs to come up. That's the goal here. All right, we're aiming for 4 times through. Starting off with pike push-ups. Sorry, I forgot they were called. All right, you guys, I'm setting the timer. We're doing 20 seconds of each. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're in that pike position, using your shoulders to push yourself back up. You might feel this a little bit in your back too, in your lats, by keeping those shoulder blades nice and tight, getting as close to the ground as you can. 3, 2, 1, and we're doing plank, knee to elbow, or opposite elbow, whatever you're more comfortable with. And if you really want to engage that core, it helps if you exhale as you bring that knee up. 3, 2, 1, and leg lifts. So alternating, squeeze the glute to lift your leg up. Keep your core tight. You want to make sure both those hips are pointed down the whole time. You don't want to be opening those hips up too much movement in the torso. 3, 2, 1, back to the push-ups, pike push-ups. Really trying to get that head as close to the ground as you can. Awesome job, you guys. Really pushing yourself up. 3, 2, 1, and now we're doing plank knee to elbow. You can either do same or opposite side, but just trying to get the knee as close to the elbow as you can. Exhaling as you bring that knee up. And still, to keep that core tight, pretend like you're crushing an apple. 3, 2, 1, and leg lifts. Try and keep that butt down, really squeeze those glutes. Lift your legs up. Keep that core nice and tight, crushing that apple. 3, 2, 1, we're back to push-ups. Really keeping everything nice and tight here. Squeezing our back, squeezing the core, pushing up, using those shoulders. 3, 2, 1, plank knee to elbow. Great job, you guys. I know this can be a really tiring on the shoulders. I feel it. But you're doing awesome. Keep pushing. Really exhale as you bring that knee forward. 3, 2, 1, and leg lifts. We're almost there, and then we got one more round of this, and then we'll take a rest, and we got one more set of exercises to do. Keep that core nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. Back to push-ups. Pushing your head away from the ground. 3, 2, 1. Plank, knee to elbow. Exhaling on the way to your elbows. We got one more exercise after this, you guys, and then we'll take a rest. Really try and push it here. 3, 2, 1. Leg lifts. Squeezing those glutes. Keeping that core tight. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. And go ahead and take a rest, you guys. Awesome job. Last thing we're going to do, last 3 exercises, 20 seconds each. We are going to be doing a bunch of glute bridges. So we're going to be on our back. We're going to start off with regular glute bridges, so squeezing the glutes. Make sure we have a nice straight line between your shoulder and your knee. We don't want to be too high. We don't want to be too low. We want to make sure that pelvis is tucked. So we're going to do 20 seconds of glute bridges, and then we're going to do 20 seconds of glute bridge marches. So we're going to be having those hips nice and high, driving those knees towards our chest. And then the final 20 seconds, we're just going to hold that glute bridge here. So we're just going to hold the top, keep those glutes nice and tight. 20 seconds of each. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're doing regular glute bridges, keeping that pelvis tucked back nice and flat. Squeeze the glutes all the way through to the top. Want to make sure that we're squeezing. 3, 2, 1, and now we're marching. So keeping the top portion of that glute bridge. Use your core to bring those knees towards the center. Squeeze that apple with your core, you guys. Want to make sure we're not letting those hips dip. And now we're just going to hold for 20 seconds. So same thing, you guys, pelvis is tucked, glutes are squeezed. And just like with squats, our whole foot is planted in the ground, okay? So heel, big toe, little toe, pushing through the ground. 3, 2, 1. Back to regular glute bridges. Keeping our core tight, pelvis tucked, squeezing those glutes, getting those hips up. Great job, you guys. 3, 2, 1, and we're marching. Great job. Really get those knees as high as you can. Try and keep those hips up as high as you can without curving that low back. 3, 2, 1, and we're holding here. Pelvis tucked, core tight. Make sure we don't forget to breathe. Crushing that apple with your core. Squeezing the glutes. Pressing those heels and big toe, little toe into the ground. 3, 2, 1. Back to regular old glute bridges. Great job, you guys. Really squeezing. Make sure we're using the glutes and not the back here. Squeeze from the bottom all the way through to the top. 3, 2, 1. Marching. Keep that pelvis tucked. helps keep that low back nice and flat. When I say tucked, I mean we don't want to be down too far, but we want to push it forward. 3, 2, 1, and we're holding. So pushing that pelvis forward so that your back is nice and flat. Squeeze those glutes. You want your feet to be about shoulder width apart here. 3, 2, 1. We got one more round, you guys. Squeezing those glutes from the bottom all the way to the top. Keep those whole foot planted on the ground. Pelvis tucked. 3, 2, 1, and marching. Use that core to keep your pelvis in line and to lift the legs up. Keep those glutes squeezed. 3, 2, 1. We're holding, you guys, last thing, and then we'll go ahead and do a nice cool down. Awesome job, you guys. Keep those glutes squeezed. Pelvis tucked. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and relax. Awesome job, you guys. Nice big deep breaths here. And we're going to go ahead and go into a cool down, okay? So for our cool down, we're going to be on our hands and knees the whole time. When you guys are ready, go ahead and flip over from those glute bridges. And from here, we're going to thread the needle. So it's going to help kind of open up our spine a little bit, help relax from all those spine activities that we did from having to keep our pelvis tucked. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start with my left hand. I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to thread it in between my right arm and my right leg. So I'm going to push my hand into the ground and pull away with my upper back. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to fix this a little bit. So hand is in between my right arm and my right leg, stretching out the spine, opening up the upper back here. This also feels really good if you tend to sit at a computer a lot throughout the day. Great job, you guys. One more deep inhale. And one long exhale. Let's go ahead and return to center. And we're going to do the same thing on our other side. So I'm going to take my right hand now, thread it in between my left arm and my left leg, pushing my hand into the ground, pulling away with my upper back. Nice big deep inhales here, you guys. Really breathe into the ribs, let that upper back open up. And one more big inhale. And exhale. Coming back to our hands and knees. And from here, we're going to go ahead and take the knees a little bit wider than our hips. We're going to sink back into a nice child's pose here. So hips, knees are as wide as you can get them. And as we take our forehead, chin, or cheek to the mat, really relax the upper body. So with each exhale, really sink into the pose a little bit more. And here, try and aim to exhale longer than your inhale. So that's going to help you guys relax, calm down, get your body ready to eat your lunch after this workout. And one last big inhale. And exhale. And slowly come out of the stretch. Take your time here, guys. You don't want to stand up too quickly. Don't want anyone to get any head rushes here. Sitting up nice and slowly. And that will conclude today's workout. Thank you all so much for coming. I love seeing all of you guys here. I hope to see you all at our stretch break later today at 2:30 with Luis. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.